Hey guys, how's it going? Tom here, and we're back for episode number 5 of our Pokémon Showdown series. I almost forgot what it was there. Our Pokémon Showdown series, Showdown Slam. So we're picking straight up from where we left off yesterday. We're in about the mid to high 1200s, and we're going to see if we can, why not, break into the 1300s. We are using our team here of Dialga, Kyogre, Kangaskhan, Cresselia, Arcanine, and Amoonguss. The Amoonguss we haven't brought to any matches, so maybe we'll bring it this episode, I don't know. But we have here a Worlds-esque winning team where it's actually quite similar to something I was thinking of last night. So we have Wolfie's team, essentially, where the Bronzong is replaced for a Metagrow. So something with a bit more offensive pressure, and obviously something that doesn't really need Trick Room, which is what the Bronzong was for. So Dialga and Kyogre here are obviously great. Kangaskhan is an obvious lead, as is Cresselia, and what we can do is use Dialga and Kyogre in the back. I feel quite confident with this setup. Raichu comes out, Kyogre comes out. We could get a big water spout off here maybe, we'll see. I feel like a fake out into the Kyogre plus a safeguard here should do a good job of nerfing that Raichu. And I don't see much that can go wrong with it really. We could protect, and the only thing that Raichu could do is potentially nuzzle instead of fake out, but I am expecting a fake out from the Raichu. We'll see what it wants to do here. The other thing to bear in mind as well is Hitmontop can come in. In my excitement, I think I've kind of thought about my moves a little bit too quickly. My opponent is taking their time. They go for the fake out, so this is perfect turn 1 for us. Kyogre gets the flinch, we get the safeguard. How'd you like them apples? I like to make myself laugh, as you can tell. So we could double edge here, but I feel like a power up punch would be more useful. And we could go for an icy wind, we could go for a helping hand just to get that chip. I feel like an icy wind here would be great to slow down that Raichu. And if something else wants to come in, we can slow that down as well. Yeah, I'm not too... I like my position here a fair bit. The Kyogre, I think it has Origin Pulse, Ice Beam and Thunder. So Hitmontop comes out, that's fine, we get power up punches off. And Kyogre is actually fast, wow, okay, wasn't expecting that. I'm actually very surprised by that. I'll have to check my Kangaskhan speed stat. Because, yeah, that's something that I really wasn't expecting, for Kyogre to outspeed my Kangaskhan. I'm pretty sure Kangaskhan should outspeed. Oh, I didn't Mega. There you go. That's it right there. I didn't Mega my Kangaskhan. What speed was it at? No. Okay, so I did Mega the Kangaskhan. But obviously I didn't get the speed boost, so I need to look into that actually. I was obviously thinking a bit too quickly about that. Protecting to the Kangaskhan or a switch out would have been the better play. But the Kyogre is slower now, so I think what we can do is go for a Dragon Pulse into the Kyogre and another Icy... In fact, Raichu could fake out the Dialga here, which is a bit of a worry. Yeah, we'll go for an Icy Wind anyway, so it does fake out the Dialga. Yeah, fair enough. Misses the Raichu actually, which isn't ideal. And we're going to see another big water spout here. Yeah. So Cresselia almost goes down. Raichu could probably go for the feint here. I don't think it would pick up the knockout. We'll go for a Dragon Pulse. And Kyogre could protect here. If it does, is that an issue? Maybe we'll go for a helping hand if it protects. I'm kind of feeling a bit YOLO today. It's Friday, I'm relaxed. So Hitmontop comes out. Okay, whatever. Volt Switch into the Cresselia, takes it out. Yeah, I'm feeling very YOLO today. I just kind of want to relax. I know I should be taking this more seriously than I am, but hey, there you go. And Dragon Pulse, even with the helping hand boost, doesn't get the KO on the Hitmontop. and obviously it doesn't trigger the actually it should trigger the eject button, so it's not eject button Hitmontop, so that's interesting. So let's Dragon Pulse and let's Origin Pulse as well. Yeah, so we didn't play this too well. The Kangaskhan going down there for effectively free is what changed this game really. I think if I was to approach this again, what would I do? I'd probably protect the Kangaskhan and Mega it. So Wide Guard comes out, crit Ice Beam, unfortunate. Dragon Pulse does chip to the Kyogre, not a whole lot really though. So we'll Dragon Pulse again, and we will Ice Beam the Hitmontop. I'm not feeling I was feeling pretty good about this match, and I did feel I had a good matchup against Wolfie's team, but maybe people are getting a bit more practice with it now and know what to do with it. You know, you just keep switching out the Hitmontop and the Raichu and keep doing things like that. I can expect the Raichu to come in here. We are in such a bad position now. Rayquaza comes in, fair enough. And what we can do here is we could just try and go for the knockout. We're just in such a bad position now. How do we want to play this? So Rayquaza can go for extreme speed. There's probably no need though. Might as well just go for the big attack. Probably onto the Kyogre, which is bulky, very bulky. Kyogre I don't think will get the KO with the Origin Pulse on either of these, or the Water Spout even. But we will be going slower than both of these, which is important to bear in mind. I feel like what do I want to do? Because if I could double target both of these, that would be ideal. The Kyogre puts on the least defensive pressure, so we could Dragon Pulse and Origin Pulse here. So Raichu comes out, which is great. Rayquaza comes in. What does it do? Maybe protects. Yeah, protects. Okay. So Origin Pulse onto the Raichu and Dragon Pulse onto the Rayquaza. So what we'll do is we can't protect Dialga, and so Raichu could be quite tempted to go for something on that. I am tempted to go for the same move really. Let's go for Dragon Pulse. I'm not expecting Rayquaza. I am expecting Dialga to go down here if Rayquaza goes for a Dragon Ascent. We'll go for a Dragon Pulse and so we're in strong winds as well, so that's something to bear in mind. And what do we want to do? So I'm quite tempted to just knock out this Raichu, and then we can. I feel like we have a better position if we can knock out the Raichu, but I feel like we need something onto the Rayquaza. So we will. I feel like Dragon Pulse will knock out the Raichu. Actually, no, because Origin Pulse didn't even do half, although that was in. Thoughts. Let's go for the Dragon Pulse and the Origin Pulse again. So Fake Out onto the Kyogre. Gets a crit actually. Swords Dance. So Kyogre flinches, that's fine. Kind of expect that. What we can do is go for a Dragon Pulse onto the Raichu, onto the Rayquaza, and we will protect Kyogre. This is kind of a 50-50 read now. Dragon Ascent into the Dialga, so yeah, we didn't call that correctly. I was thinking he might want to overextend and go for it onto the Kyogre, but no such luck. This is pretty much, and he's saying wrong move, whatever. That's down to him really. It's not really a wrong move when he can kind of KO anything with that move and you're just protecting to play it safe. So, whatever, not too concerned. So we have an interesting team here of Yveltal Groudon, Zapdos, Amoonguss, the Mawile thing, and Ludicolo. So it's kind of a team that works well in rain, I want to say more so. And there's almost, I don't know, the Ludicolo I don't think it has Chlorophyll. I think it just has the Swift Swim thing. So it is an interesting team. Maybe something Arcanine could do quite well in given the Intimidates it can get off. So I'm tempted to lead with Arcanine and keep Kyogre in the back. I don't think Cresselia is needed as much here. So let's go with Kangaskhan and Arcanine. We'll have, we'll have Dialga and Kyogre in the back. So Zapdos comes out, Mawile comes out, Kangaskhan comes out, and then Arcanine comes out. This is a very nice. So we could see a Tailwind here, which, to be honest, in my opinion, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We could also see a Protect from the Mawile. So let's go for the Fake Out onto Zapdos, because that's generally less likely to go for a Protect. And we will Flamethrower. Should we Flamethrower it? Do I want the damage, or do I just want to nerf it and make it a waste of time? Well, we'll go for the Mega and we'll Fake Out Zapdos. And yeah, I think we will go for, well, if he sends in, okay, so either way, if he sends in what do you call it, Groudon, then Flamethrower isn't doing much anyway, as he does send in Groudon, so, you know, fair enough. So Zapdos takes the Fake Out damage. Will-O-Wisp obviously does nothing. And what we'll do is send in the Kyogre and we will Hidden Power Water the Groudon. Can we do this 2 episodes in a row? I certainly hope so. That'd be a very nice thing. Just thinking back to that previous game as well, where I protected the Kyogre. There was really nothing I could do to stop the Dialga going down because it doesn't carry Protect. So I would have got the KO onto Kangaskhan, but then Raichu would have just, you know, could freely Volt Switch and things like that. So Hidden Power Water isn't quite enough to pick up the KO this time, which is unfortunate. It would be worth looking at that EV spread once again. So what we'll do here is, it's a special Groudon, which is interesting. We can freely go for an Origin Pulse, and I think we'll go for another. Actually, see, Zapdos could switch out here, you know, baiting a Fake Out and intimidating with Mawile, but it doesn't. So we get some. Oh, we get Static. Okay, well, you know, when you're playing with those static shenanigans, then yeah, you have to deal with that. And Origin Pulse hits both, so we do get a double knockout, which is pretty nice. So we're up 3-2 now, but obviously we're heavily, what do you call it? We are heavily damaged and reduced in speed. So Mawile can't really do much to Dialga, so I feel if we can just hammer at that Yveltal, we might be able to do something there. So let's go for a Thunder onto it, because it is more effective than the Ice Beam. And we'll go for a Power Up Punch onto it as well. We could Protect, as it doesn't, which is nice. So actually Kangaskhan lives here, which is great. So we do get a slight attack increase. And we will Dragon Pulse the Yveltal, and we will Protect the Kangaskhan. Because Yveltal might be just tempted to go for another Sucker Punch here, in which case it will fall for it. Dark Pulse actually, so that's fine. And Play Rough, ooh, does quite a good chunk actually to the Dialga. So we will go for a, what do we want to go for here? We'll go for a Flash Cannon into the Mawile, and we'll go for another Power Up Punch into the Yveltal. And the Dark Pulse KOs and the Flash Cannon, yeah. So Dialga not built as defensively there. Maybe that's something I want to build for, getting, you know, making sure that the, what do you call it, the Play Rough is a 3-hit KO onto the Dialga, potentially. Also losing the Arcanine early there was quite important. Perhaps I should have preserved it more. Obviously I went for the play of trying to get a Water Pulse 1-hit KO, which, sorry, not Water Pulse, Hidden Power Water 1-hit KO, which didn't come off for us, which is unfortunate. So here I feel like we could lead, I feel like Arcanine would be a nice lead here, but we will need to preserve it more. Kyogre I don't feel is necessary, so, but the Cresselia is nice for the speed drops as well. So we'll go Cresselia Arcanine. Is a relatively passive lead though. And we can have Dialga in the back. In fact, let's have Cresselia and Kangaskhan, and we can have Arcanine switching in whenever we need to for the Intimidate, and we'll have Dialga. So it's Kangaskhan and Kyogre. So we could see Fake Out Water Spout here. So we'll keep ours in non-Mega form, and we will Icy Wind. Kangaskhan, Kyogre could protect here actually. And do I want to potentially read into that? If we go for a Mega and a Power Up Punch into the Kangaskhan and an Icy Wind. This is going to be a very YOLO play, but I am expecting Kyogre to protect here. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, perfect. Oh wait, no. Kyogre didn't protect, so what's going to happen? No! It's going to go for the big water spout. Scald, okay, well, there you go. Okay, so let's go for a... So obviously we're in Sucker Punch range here, which is very unfortunate. And I feel like I want to preserve the... what you call it? I keep forgetting moves. I want to preserve the Fake Out for later on in the game. So it is unfortunate there. It would have been safer to just Fake Out the Kyogre. But there you go, what can you do? Well, you can play better for a start. So we'll switch in a Dialga, and we will go for a... We'll go for an Icy Wind. Let's see what happens here. So Kyogre protects, Kangaskhan Sucker Punches, great. So that's good for us. And the Cresselia is faster than the Kyogre here, which is pretty good. Dialga should be faster than the Kyogre then. It'd be a very weird speed here for the Kyogre to be in if it's slower than Cresselia and faster than Dialga. So we'll go for an Aura Sphere into the Kangaskhan, and we'll go for a Thunder Wave into the Kyogre, permanently reduce its speed. Yep, okay, so Kangaskhan switches out. Actually, it is faster than the Dialga, which is interesting. So Aura Sphere doesn't do a lot, so I'm assuming the Conkeldurr is Assault Vested. And now what do I want to do here? Do I predict a Kyogre Protect? I can go for... kind of want to knock out this Conkeldurr because obviously it does a lot to Dialga, and Dialga is a threat here. Arcanine I feel like isn't doing a lot. Cresselia isn't doing a lot here either now that we know that, well, we know we've probably got Rayquaza in the back. Neither of these Pokemon can protect, so it's an unfortunate position to be in. What I'm going to do is... it's a tough call really, because one of these Pokemon is probably going down this turn. Well, the Cresselia isn't going down this turn, so it becomes a question of what I want to do with it really. So what we'll do is we'll switch out the Arcanine, or switch in the Arcanine for the Dialga, get at least a Intimidate onto the Conkeldurr, and just for some chip we will Icy Wind. Kyogre doesn't protect, so it's probably going to go for, you know, a Water Spout or something. Drain Punch into the Arcanine, recovers most of its health actually. And Water Spout, yeah, so double KO here. Kind of worked myself into a poor position here. Maybe quite easily being baited for the Kangaskhan. You know, going for the Aura Sphere onto the Kangaskhan. So we're not doing too well today. We've already had 2 losses. I'm thinking a bit faster than normally I would allow myself to. I'm kind of in a bit of a hurry today, as I explained yesterday. Don't have a lot of time over the weekend, so I'm just trying to get through these as fast as possible, and maybe that's affecting my play. I mean, we're almost being 4-0'd here, so something needs to change. So I think we'll go for... so Kangaskhan can Fake Out here. Can Fake Out either one. We'll go for a Dragon Pulse into the Kangaskhan, and we will Fake Out the Kyogre. Fake Out goes off. Fake Out into the Kangaskhan. Oh, it stayed in on Mega actually, which is really interesting. So we actually live this time. So that's really cool. I wonder if Conkeldurr has Mach Punch, or Rayquaza definitely has Extreme Speed. Now the question becomes, does it have a focus sash, and if it does, then we lose. If we don't, we might. If it doesn't, we might still have a chance, because this Kangaskhan, this Rayquaza most likely is going to go for an extreme speed, and for that reason I'm going to protect the Kangaskhan. Protect. Dragon Ascent into the Kangaskhan, okay. Dragon Pulse, it is sashed, okay. Actually, it doesn't reveal the sash, that's very interesting. So what we'll do is we'll go for the Dragon Pulse into the Kyogre, and we'll go for the Dragon Pulse again into the Rayquaza, and we'll try and get the double protect. Oh, okay, Rayquaza protects as well. We fail the protect. Dragon Pulse, yeah, okay. So fair play to my opponent there, doing, making a good read there. So today, not going too well, I'm afraid. Off the back of 6 wins, we've had 3 more losses even. So that's really unfortunate. And I'm trying to think what we could have done. There were some vital turns there which could have gone better for us. And I feel like that was the difference there. Like the HP Water onto the Arcanine, with the Arcanine onto the Groudon, should have picked up the KO I was hoping for. And I thought a bit too fast with the first match against Wolfie's team. And this one, yeah, I just seem to be playing myself into bad position. So apologies, I guess, for the lack of skill on display there. Unfortunately, that is going to see our rating drop, potentially back into the 1100s. So we're on the cusp of the 1200s, really. So yeah, not a good day, really. There is one more loss to be taken into account there. So yeah, not a good day at the office for us today, unfortunately. But it's all part of the practice and all part of learning more about this team. So over the weekend, if I do get a chance, I'm going to try and do a proper, serious team build and try and come up with something different to this team. And perhaps I'll revisit Dialga and Kyogre another time. In the meantime, I'd like to try something else, maybe try something every week and learn more about it. Anyway, as always, thanks again for watching this video, episode number 5 now, so we're through our first week, always good to see. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and got this far, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks very much, bye bye.